I think my wife is faking her amnesia and she's asking for a divorce. My wife was in a car crash 2 months ago. It was bad but not lethal. She was in a coma for 3 days and when she woke up, she was confused, which is normal. But the first thing she told me was, "Who are you? Who are you?" I thought she was making a joke or something, but she continued to act like she did not know me. By the way, this comes from View Analyst 6766, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Her parents were also at the hospital and she recognized them immediately, but she apparently did not know her husband of 4 years. The doctor said that amnesia from head injuries is uncommon but not impossible. When she was discharged, she refused to come home with me even when her parents told her they would be there too, and she went home with them. She still refuses to see or talk to me even when she has seen proof of our relationship, pictures, videos, and her things at her place. The thing is, I don't believe her. I'm pretty sure she's doing all this just to get a divorce. The first thing she told me after going home with her parents was that she does not care if we're married. She doesn't know me, and she wants a divorce. I still do not know why though. Why would she lie instead of just telling me she wants a divorce? I think your wife has amnesia. I think she has amnesia. I never cheated, mistreated her, or anything like that. Even if she just doesn't love me, this is crazy. Let's be honest, amnesia is not nearly as common as it is in the movies or TV shows, and apparently she doesn't remember the last 6 years. It seems crafted. I cannot talk to anyone about this because when I tried to tell my mother-in-law about my suspicions, she lost it on me. I wonder why. But this doesn't make any sense. My wife is still pushing for divorce, but apparently her attorney told her that mediation and/or couples counseling is a better first step. She will not talk to me or acknowledge our relationship, but apparently she's already on Tinder. Dang. It is driving me insane and I do not know why she's doing this to me. Top relevant comments. Delicious Quantity says faking amnesia would not be an easy thing, especially for getting a whole 6 years. That is a lot of things she would have to remember to forget. There would be ways to find out if she's faking, like having someone who is not you ask her about some events over the last 6 years and see if she remembers anything. OP says, I started to doubt because she recognized the friend who introduced us, but they also met 6 years ago, just a couple months earlier. Ziad9057 says, give her the divorce she wants and move on with your life. It's sad and horrible, but isn't it better to find someone who wants to be with you? Are you sure her parents liked you? They were like second parents to me when my parents passed away a year into our relationship. They were my rock and invited me to live with them for a while to grieve in peace. Pillowcase of Eel says, if there was no indication that she was looking for a way out before the crash, is it possible that she may just be telling the truth? If she doesn't remember you as far as she's concerned, you're a stranger she has zero connection to, who's just demanding to be in her life. Yeah, you gave her proof, but that won't magically recreate a link that has been erased from her mind. Put yourself in her shoes if she's telling the truth. She's recovering from literal brain damage. Her psyche is probably a mess overall, and now she has to be someone's wife on top of that. I would nope the F out too. It's a horrible situation for both of you, but I do find it bizarre and concerning that your first reaction to that is to accuse her of malingering. It sounds pretty self-centered. OP says, it was not my first reaction. I was supportive until a friend she met almost at the same time as me came to visit, and she didn't have any problem recognizing him. You can only forget one person when you have amnesia. Typewritten says, and she remembered details about said friend, I'm assuming? Not just who he was. This is wild. I'm sorry you're going through this, man. OP says she even remembers his birthday because she told him we should do something. I'm sure I'll be well enough by then. Edincoboard says, if her doctors believe this is real, I don't see why you don't. It's very difficult to credibly feign amnesia in a way that passes muster with medical professionals. Then again, if you're so intent on believing the worst in her, divorce is probably the best bet anyway. The doctor said it shouldn't take too much time for her to remember again, but now I don't have access to her medical records or anything at the hospital, although I'm her legal husband. Totally not. Granek says, I don't think worrying over whether she's faking or not is going to help you. That's a conversation you should keep between you and a therapist, not anyone else. I'd say it's 50-50. You're in denial, but any attempt at reconciliation should be approached as if she's telling the truth. I don't see a way this relationship comes back without a lot of family support, therapy, and counseling, and after all of that, it's still uncertain. If she's lying, the relationship is already over. The foundation of relationship is trust. If she's not, she's in a medical situation that might require all of the above and a lot of patience and still not lead her back to you. If you don't have faith in her, the relationship is already over because you'll self-sabotage, but little chance you have. If you're like most of us, you likely vowed in sickness and in health. This might not be the sickness you were envisioning, but if she's telling the truth, that's what this is. OP says, I want to wait for her, but she's pushing the divorce. I volunteered to drive her and her parents to the hospital because they don't have a car, and she declined. So I gave my car to her dad so he could drive her around and to her appointments.
Another commenter says, I get that you love her, but don't set yourself on fire to keep her warm when she won't even have a conversation with you. How are her parents enabling this behavior? OP says they don't answer my calls or texts and asked me not to visit for the time being. The only one giving me updates is her best friend. And OP replies to another comment, I talked to her best friend and she just told me to hang in there and be patient. Sometimes she sent me pics or updates, but nothing about her medical situation. She was the one that told me my wife wanted to download Tinder. And another comment from OP, I don't know anymore. I spend my days crying and I have to wait until January for my therapy appointment because my insurance is butt and I can't afford going on my own because her physiotherapy sessions are like $100 each and she goes 5 times a week. I even thought about quitting my job, but her parents can't afford her care. Whiskey Gambler says you could try to do a trial separation and work on forming a connection again at her speed. If she really doesn't remember you, then it must be scary having a man show you all this stuff you don't remember and insisting to be a big part of your life. Don't assume that she's faking it. Work with her rather than assuming she's doing it on purpose. You could recreate your first date, but suggest one of her friends or her parents comes along. OP says, her parents suggested having dinner at their place with my wife, her parents, her best friend, and me. But the day of, she refused to come down, so I just left so she could at least have dinner. And there is an update 8 days later. Hello, it's me again. As you could probably see, I was not in a good place mentally speaking. I was committed to the psych ward for 4 days because of the heavy mental load. My best friend decided to move in with me for the moment, and I have therapy appointments twice a week now. When I was released from the hospital, I found a bunch of texts from my in-laws asking me why I didn't pay for my wife's physiotherapy and therapy appointments. And I realized they were never worried about me. They didn't even ask if I was okay, just asked for money. I realized this was going to unalive me if I didn't do anything about it. So I called them and told them I agreed to the divorce and to tell my wife. But since she'll no longer be my wife, I wouldn't pay for anything else and that I wanted my car back. They tried to yell and I just hung up. My best friend found me a lawyer who is a friend of his and we'll see what we can do to protect myself. I'm still very tired and very hurt. And I want to clarify that it's not that I don't believe my wife. I was just so heartbroken and wasted. I basically created a whole new alternative reality. Yesterday, my best friend went to retrieve my car because I don't have the energy to fight with anyone right now. It was in the middle of the night with a spare key, so he didn't even have to talk to them because my car was parked outside. I don't really know what I'm gonna do after this. Everything is still fresh and confusing and everything hurts, but I can't fight anymore, and maybe this is all my own fault for fighting when everyone told me to just give up. I haven't heard anything from my ex, and I blocked my in-laws, but I assume we'll hear from them soon because I took my car and I stopped all payments. I appreciate the kind words and the ones trying to reason with me, but at the moment, I'm not ready to listen. Right now, I just want to get better and move on with my life. I asked for time off at my job so I can process everything better, and I'm just relaxing. I haven't realized how bad I was sleeping until today that I woke up around 2 p.m. I'll do my best to remember to update once the divorce is finalized. And my lawyer said we actually have a shot at not paying for alimony or any medical bills, so I'm almost hopeful. Please take care of yourself and enjoy the holidays. I'll try to do it myself too. Environmental chart says stay close to your loved ones in these times, especially. The holidays can be as rough as they are joyful. I wish you all the best in the world, man. And OP says, thank you, it's just me and my best friend this year. He tried to make me move in with him at the beginning of all this, but I didn't listen. He really is a great man. Tito says, sorry you're going through this. My question though, do you still believe she's faking the amnesia? Is that what you mean by making up an alternate reality? OP says, I don't think she's faking it. At the time, it was the better option than the love of your life doesn't remember you and doesn't want to be near you, and this might never change. To be honest, I don't think anyone can fake something like this from waking up, but I wasn't thinking clearly and was in a very bad place mentally speaking. And OP says, I'm thinking about selling the house, but I think I have to wait until after the divorce, even though it was an inheritance. The lawyer said something like that. And that is the end of that story, but wow. Find the full episode by searching OK Storytime and the episode number on Spotify.